Hello again. Saturday, October 4th, 4 days into the Sober October Reset Challenge. And I'm thinking of these different stories. Got me thinking about my dad, kind of feeling more than nostalgic. Like, my dad was an alcoholic before alcoholics were a bad thing. Like, it was just normal to have a beer every day after work. It was just normal to. I remember riding to the corner store with my dad, and he'd have a beer between his knees and his hands on the wheel, or one hand on my shoulder. He's just. We used to have little tea parties, and he'd take maybe about that much of a shot of whiskey and put it in my teacup for me. uh, I always wanted to drink more, and he'd say, "No, you don't. You've already had more than enough." Him and my mom split up when I was really young, and I was able to find him, relocate him as an adult, and be able to spend time with him. I His wife didn't care much for his drinking because, as alcoholics do, tend to get kind of mean and say and do things they regret later. He was quite mean to her, but that didn't stop us. He was my dad. We still go out and have a beer together. And, I I bought him a case of I think it was Budweiser once, and his wife got really mad, but she. Kept her cool. My dad was always there for me until him and mom started fighting really bad. But this one time at band camp right now, um, my dad and I think he had a doctor appointment or something, someplace we needed to go together. It was just me and him, and I was driving. And we decided to pick up a couple of Mike's Hard Lemonades and just relax on the beach. And it was about this time of year. It was still kind of chilly. It's still kind of warm sometimes. You know how October is. In the morning, you want to turn on the heat to take off the chill, and around noon, you turn on the air conditioner because it's too hot. And then, um, so we had a good open heart discussion on the beach, and then about how I was his girl, and he was happy for me and proud of me. And it was a really good day. And then driving home, I must have like low blood sugar or something, some other thing wrong too, because just one or two Mike's hard lemonade shouldn't have a huge effect on you, right? Well, I made it through the stoplights. Well, they were green, they weren't red when I went through them. I made it around the corners and did everything just fine. Right up to the parking lot to the apartment where my dad and his wife lived. And I think my son was hanging out with his grandma, and got right into the parking space. Dad says, "Hang on, you want me to do this?" And I was like, "No, no, I got this." I didn't have it. I hit his neighbor's car. The whole drive I was fine. Made it all the way home, hit his neighbor's car. I panicked, had no idea what to do. I had been drinking. Clearly, my life was over. The neighbor called the cops right away. My dad went into dad mode, hero mode immediately. Uh, he explained to his neighbor everything. His neighbor was pissed. His neighbor just got that car. It was a little black something or other. And I don't know how my dad worked his magic. The cops showed up. I was facing time in jail. I was facing fines. I was facing never having my license again. Somehow, I don't know what my dad did, how he talked the cops out of it. It took the $300 that I had in my bank account and some that my dad had set aside for some other serious thing to pay off the cop, to bribe the cop. I don't know how he did it. Uh, uh, I got lucky so many times. And my dad truly saved my life that day. And he he got real sick a couple years later. It was March of 2022, and my son and I, we found out that he was on hospice. And I know you don't have long to go when you get on hospice, and I didn't have a lot of time off work or a lot of money saved up. But me and my son, we managed to fly up to. I had a hero. I had someone fighting for me in my back pocket. He was a beautiful, wonderful man, and he was another really good dad. Not to me, but a good dad in general. He helped me out with the money to be able to fly up to the mountains. Thank you, Scott, but for helping me. He helped me to fly up to the mountains and see my dad. And I was later at night, sitting with him. He was in a wheelchair. His muscles had been deteriorating. He could hardly move. He could hardly breathe. He had to be hooked up to several different machines and have a certain kind of water running through him, or it wouldn't. He would just couldn't breathe. But he still managed to sit up with me one night and talk about life and talk about mistakes that he'd made with my mom and with other women and mistakes that I'd made in relationships and how I was blessed with such a great son. And I didn't feel much like drinking. I think I might have been a little under the weather, a little stressed out, or overexhausted, or just in shock in general for being so sad. But we stayed up. We had 3 or 4 beers together, and just talking about life. And yeah, I apologized that I wasn't able to do more for him, to be there for him more. And he said, "It's okay. I'm an old man," he said. And he told me that he'd lived his life and that he had a daughter that he was proud of. It's probably about 4 o'clock in the morning when we finally went to sleep. Alcohol is not the best thing on earth, I agree, but it's not the worst. And whether I got alcoholism from my dad or other members of my family or just developed it on my own, I don't know. Doesn't matter. But that was another time that was really important to me. A really good memory that I had with my dad. Him saving my ass by paying the cops. And then being able to have those last few moments with him. And learning things about him that he would not have told me. He would not have been comfortable telling me about his health history, his mental illnesses, his different experiences in life, helping me clarify things that happened with him and my mother that might have been due to drug or alcohol related events, but to be able to just sit there and relax. And I'm not saying that enjoying alcohol is good or bad, but to be able to enjoy that moment and have a beer with a good man, a really important part of my life. I am truly thankful for that. So there's October 4th, and I got about 5 hours of sleep last night. And I have been feeling a little under the weather all week, but I'm really enjoying being able to share these stories with you, share these moments with you, these memories. And it's already been 12 minutes, but happy October and enjoy your weekend. Thank you guys for showing up.